is therapeutic in its ability to force reflection and to release revelation at the same time, because he wants me to think in terms of my history but understand the revelation of his power. Let me take it further. Charles Stinnett Jr. says this, and I quote. He says, revelation and insight are functions of man's passionate concern to understand himself in his own history. I don't come to church just to slap my hands and jump and shout. I come in here to be a better me. And the first time that I am perfect, I'll quit coming to church. The only reason we got all these folk in here, is including me, is because all these folk in here have a problem. And I came tonight for God to put my problem in front of my face and then show me how he can bring me out. I feel like preaching now. When you understand this, it is hard then for me to believe that they relegated love to a minor point in the Old Testament. And one writer, Leon Morris, shares my attitude when he says, understanding the meaning of love is imperative to understanding the Old Testament. And the reason is because it is embedded in the way God treats his people. Nobody in love wants to look like a fool. But every time I see God pleading and begging with Israel, it's like Israel is making him look foolish. Because nobody wants to keep coming after anybody who is not reciprocal, and there's no reciprocity. If I'm giving you my best and I'm laying my heart out to you, it's because I'm looking for something in return. I feel something here. I think I'm on it tonight, Lord. Thank you. Because the writings of the Old Testament are underscored with surprising truths. And this shows the enormous power of God, who is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. And why does he love me like this? How can he love us to the point where he becomes the beggar? How can he love us like this until the point where he becomes the one who is feeling all the pain, while I'm just running around in his face doing what I want to do? And instead of him just wiping me out, he's sitting in a corner hurting over my behavior and crying to me to turn around because I love you like that. If it were you or me, we'd have walked away from somebody who would not have given us that kind of love. Can I preach like I feel it? I feel like I might as well just do it like I feel it. Now, what in the world would I do if I were to take a woman off the street, and cultivate her, give her culture sophistication, give her an education, and then try to bring her to the standard that when she walks beside me, everybody can look at her and knows that we might as well leave her alone because she is with him and he just fixes everything around her. God, I feel it. Protect her on every side. Keep her in every manner. And then every time I look up, she's sneaking my money, sneaking with my car. Did I see your car on Davidson Boulevard about 1 o'clock? And you said, no, it wasn't me. It had to be you with those personal license plates. I know the car looks like other cars, but it's you. Do you think for 1 minute I would stand it? I would go crazy sooner or later because I've made you everything you are, and you use what you are to make me look like a fool. I wish I could preach this thing. You would blow up and lose your mind. But here is God, instead of wiping us out, he comes back begging that we turn around and give him some glory. Oh, I'm going to preach this thing here tonight until the devil runs out of here. The writings of the prophets, y'all relax. The writings of the lawgivers, the writings of the psalmist, and everywhere else would lose their significance without the substratum of the love of God that is totally pervasive through the writings. Without God's love in the Old Testament, if you don't see it, the writings would make absolutely no sense. I see the writings as revelations about who God loves and revelations about how much he loves. He doesn't choose folk who have themselves together. He chooses folk who are the riffraff of the city, and he pours his love on them. Because love, anytime you love, it demands a plethora of self-revelations and manifestations. You didn't know you could love like that until you loved that vagabond. You didn't know you could love past folk calling you a fool until you loved that particular person. You didn't know you could love until you could keep coming back to somebody that kept doing the wrong thing in your life. You didn't know you could love somebody that didn't even love themselves and didn't have the capacity to appreciate how much love you had. It took the test in order to reveal the depth of love that lays in your heart. And it takes you and me to show the great love that God has for us. Oh, I feel it here. If I wasn't so terrible, I wouldn't know how much God loves me. But I can get up anywhere in front of anybody and say, if I don't know anything in the world, I know this: God loves me. Because with all I have done against him, and he's still here holding me up. I want to talk to some real people here tonight. I want to talk to folk who understand that they're loved by God. You see, and even some strange things occurred. I have seen some substantial work in the New Testament that had no chapters on love. But throughout the Bible, love is at the heart of God's dealing with men. There are many, many Hebrew words for love. And that's significant because Jeremiah shows us that God said, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore, with lovingness, kindness rather, have I drawn thee. There's at least 8 Hebrew words for love. And God loves like this. I mean, he loves until he almost looks foolish. There is God. This is the love that the Shulamite had for her lover. And here is this love. This God is love that was better than wine. It was a love that was intoxicating for those who used to drink. It was a love, yes, that sort of made you not even focus. You were sort of caught in a trance because of your love. When the lovey came in and you saw the lovey, the lover would almost lose his